This is probably like the fifth time I'm recording. Hi guys, I'm just going to jump right into it, right? So basically, I think it was 2011 when the Winlows released this skit. So I'm going to insert that skit right now.
Oh, Sister Lizzie, sorry I am sweating profusely. I just descended from the mountain. April 17th, exactly 2:30 a.m. I was in a trance and I saw 5 girls. 3 from choir, 2 ushers. I said, God, what is this? God said to me, son, one of these girls will be your wife. I said, God, what should I do now? God said, son, go to the mountain and pray for 14 days. Immediately, Sister Lizzie, you won't believe it. I packed my things and I went to the mountain. And while I was praying and fasting, I said, God, reveal to me that particular one that will be my wife. On the 14th day, behold, I heard the voice of the Lord like a thunder saying, son, I want to deliver to you that woman that will be your wife. And behold, as I looked, I saw you coming down from heaven with a wedding gown. I said, Jesus, what is this? God said unto me, that is your wife. I said, God, I know Sister Lizzie from a distance. God said, go and meet her. Tell her what I have said. It is only the violent that taketh it by force. So I ran down here to tell you straight away that God said you will be my wife.
No.
Yes?
I said no.
Yes. If God says yes, who can say no?
It's true, nobody can say no.
Sister Lizzie, why are you crying?
My story. I want to tell you my story.
Oh, Sister Lizzie, God knows you. Who am I to know you more?
I lost my parents when I was just 10.
And so, is that it? I still love you, dear.
Before 18 years, I slept with 64 men. Committed 18 abortions.
Zuka Sukatada.
And I don't have a womb.
School.
And right now, I'm HIV positive. I currently have kidney problem. Doctor said I have 18 months to live. Anyways, since God said you're my husband, I don't mind marrying you.
It was SS3. It was SS3. And so when the video was released, all of a sudden, all of my classmates and friends, even family members, suddenly decided that it was funny to call me Sister Lee. For whatever reason, I did not find it funny. There was nothing funny about it for me. So I grabbed my notepad and I started to scribble out everything that Elizabeth could, be shortened to. Betty, Beth, what else? Lisa, Liz. So I just kept finding a problem with everything. First of all, I needed it to be something that people would agree to call me. Now I needed to also understand that they were coming from Lizzie, right? So now from Lizzie to Betty, that won't work. From Lizzie to Beth, no, that won't work. So somehow I just arrived at the point that it has to be something with that Liz, right? Okay, so I wrote Liz down and I'm like, okay, so what if I tell them to call me Liz? But the thing is, do you know it actually takes more energy to say Lizzie, to say Liz in comparison to Lizzie? Like you just say Lizzie. But Liz, you have to pull break, like Liz, you have to hold. So I'm like, so I had written all of these, the short forms of Elizabeth, and I'm like, none of this is going to work, none of this is going to fly, right? So I'm still fiddling with Liz now. Liz, Lisa, and my Lisa, no, they also turn into Lizard. Lisa, there was already the problem of Elisa. Guys, I need to understand how my mind was working, okay? So finally, I'm at Liz, and I'm like, okay, how about Liz? You see, they won't stop at Liz, they will just finish that Liz. So I ended up just writing that L and Z, and I'm like, oh, this is. So I'm like, okay, how do you pronounce L? I'm like, L, and Z. I'm like, LZ. I'm like, so my, the American thingy will just end like, no, it's not Z, it's Z. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's true. So Elzee. Then LD the Don was, it was popping that time. So like, oh yeah, that's cool. So Elzee the Don, that's what my mind was working, right? So I'm like, oh, Elzee the Don. So that made sense. That actually made it. Like, I felt it in my soul, in my spirit. To the extent that I didn't even want to tell people to call me. I felt like it was personal to me. Like it was my name. Like, I don't know how to explain the fact that I was trying to get a name that I wanted people to call me, but I get this name and I'm like, no, I don't even want to share it with anybody. It's like my Yoruba name. It just feels somehow when certain people say Elitayo. I'm like, no, you don't have a right to call that. There are specific people that would call me Elitayo, right? And just something like that. And then I just felt like this was special, and I actually didn't even want to share it with anybody. I think it was only my partner, my same partner. That I ended up just seeing. He also made the joke about, oh, I was don't like. I'm like, this guy gets it. Shout out to you if you ever get to watch it. Someone gets mentioned names. Anyway, so I kept writing it on my notes, but I don't know, for whatever reason, aside the thought that this is special, actually I don't have the mind to tell people to call me. But all of that was now when I finally gained admission into uni. There were 3 operations that I was going to do. Operation number 1, forget God, forget church, forget Christianity. All of that is nonsense. Operation number 2, get a boyfriend. Operation number 3, reinvent yourself. That scared, little girl, that's, I'm not going to say much person, I wanted to change that. Yeah, I'll bring me on that story. I'll tell you how operation number 1, operation number 2 was a total disaster. Of course, I'm here, I'm TMG, I'm Elzee. Of course, it was a total disaster. Glory to God, thank God. I'll probably tell you about that later. But let's talk about the meal, yeah? So, anyway, I had this new wardrobe or trousers. I never used to wear trousers when I was at home. Like, they not bomb me. So I got to school and I had this set of trousers I bought. In fact, you can't even see skirts in my yash. In part 1, you would think it was normal. But whenever I was going home, of course, I would not take trousers home. So yeah, I had the new wardrobe. I had this new. At the end of the day, I couldn't just come out of the, low confidence thing, and I ended up just settling for this fake resting. Not fake, but it was more like it just was not the right option to go with, right? I had this tough facade and I had this tough outlook. This resting bitch face, yes, that's the word I'm looking for. And usually, a lot of people that I ended up becoming friends with were like, so you're actually this sweet. Like, if you go with first impression of, I'm 98% sure you got the wrong idea about me, right? So I was that girl who would sit on the aisle at the back. That was my seat. And I also had this idea that I had to do first year very well. That if somehow you were able to build your GP very well in part 1, even if it got tougher in second year, third year, and fourth year, you could, have covered up. You would be able to cover up with, with the strong, basis that you had, strong GP in part 1. So I always went to class. So it wasn't long for people to know that, okay, this is the person you can go to for complete notes. Anyway, that's where it just started. So this girl walks up to me. Like, people that they gave back to them. Some of us learned confidence. Some people, they gave back to them with it. If you're in my class, you already know the person I'm talking about. This girl doesn't walk. She struts. Square shoulders. That head is high up there. Dead in the eye looking at you. It's not it's not fake something. Very lovely girl, right? Of course. So it was intimidating initially for the kind of person that I was, right? That scared and struggling with confidence and self-esteem person. Yeah. Anyway, she walks up to me. She's like, "Hi, can I have your notes, please?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure. Passed the note to her, and I'm like, whatever. So the following day or so, she returns the note, and she didn't just return the note. She decides to ask me. So I want to pronounce this. So she goes, "I want to pronounce this properly. Is it Elzee, Elzee, Elzee?" And then she just, mutters the name in a couple of ways, and I'm flustered. Like I was that person. I have to. In fact, now I have to think. Okay, what am I? I'm going to say this. This is what I'm going to say, and then I'll do the rehearsal in my head. Like introvertedness is not your base. Trust me. So I just. Yeah, no, stop it. She's like, no. I want to pronounce it correctly. And I'm like, it's just letter L and that's it. Elzee. It's like, so okay, so Elzee. Okay, so thank you very much for your note. And then she walks. I remember thinking, I love you so much, girl. If you know it is you I'm talking about. Of course, you probably can't remember these things because the things I remember, my friends will just be like, "Yo, back be alright." Like that's just the way my mind's work, and that's why I'm starting this YouTube thing. Because see, it is going on in this place. No, it's not only me that will be hearing it anymore. It's not only me that will be hearing it, right? Anyway, now that was important because, like I said, I wasn't actually able to get people to, call me the name. But now this was the person that talks to the whole class. Now this was the person that will definitely greet you. And when she greets you well. So, "Hi, good morning, Elzee." People began to catch on that, "Oh, so that girl's name is Elzee. Oh, that girl's name is Elzee." And of course, at some point, by the time they start hearing you in all those godforsaken presentations and group projects, so annoying. Of course, they had to know your name, they had to know your matric number. And they actually needed something to distinguish the Elizabeth. There were two of us in the class named Elizabeth. The crazier thing about I was 004, she was 005. She was Adebo, I was Adebayo. Yeah. So they actually needed that distinction. When you say Elizabeth, they actually would ask you which one, right? So the other girl, I don't know if it was before she got to school, but she had a Yoruba name with Lizzie. So if a Yoruba name was Tope, I don't want to call her. If a Yoruba name was Tope, she was called Tope Lizzie. So me, if you ask them which Elizabeth, it was Elizabeth Elzee. That's how Elzee stuck. Guys, I remember thinking, "Oh wow, this just happened." Like this is a very conscious memory. Like it's not story that I actually had all of this stuff processing. It wasn't by the way. And I remember thinking, I actually should have introduced myself as that in the room. Like it would have. I actually was not trying to even make it stick at this point. That's why I'm like, this name actually is very special, right? So, because even in the room itself, it was Elzee, Auntie Elzee, because that toughness, everybody saw it immediately, and those that gave me my respect gave me my respect. Well, Auntie Elzee, I'm not proud of it. Actually, I am. So, by the time I got into fellowship, like I said, Operation Forget God was a total disaster. I'll just tell about it later. So by the time I got into fellowship, it wasn't even that I got into fellowship and made them call me Elzee. It was actually that I started a business, makeup business part 2, and the name of the business was Elzee Glam House. So it was actually Elzee Glam. It was the glam that they were calling me in fellowship. So Elzee actually stuck. Like, this is one of those nicknames that people just give you a nickname and then, "Oh, it was this guy that named me." No, we named ourselves. Like, we sat down. Tell me, say you dwell. Like, your nickname is you that actually sat down and picked it. Like, and now it's not just the nickname, it's a brand, it's a movement, it's a anyway. So yeah. Like I said, all the things that we're going to say, it's all of us that will be getting this together now. This YouTube thing is here to stay, right? So just click that subscribe button. Yeah? See, that subscribe thing, it doesn't do anything. I've noticed it doesn't actually add anything to you Nobody cares. Subscribe is like a gift to the creator, right? Like just take, like I just give them the numbers. I don't know why people don't do it more often. I don't do it so much often anyway, but then just do it for me, right? And then, like I said, I just grabbed this camera and I started recording. It's not yet I have a video every Monday or every Tuesday. So the only way to know I've dropped a video is if you turn on your notification. The premium content only. I did my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Bye.
يا بنت ايش الطعمة
باي باي.
يلا مع السلامة يا بنت قدام المدرسة